Let's pop off, man. Shout out to the tribe. We're back in it. We're back in it. We're continuing this book series. We're gonna go cover to cover with this drop, man. So just get used to it, man. You know what's dope? Before I even get started, man, we're just a big book club. You know, at the heart of things, when people ask, like, what do y'all do? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's this about? Like, just to not scare them off too much at first, man. It's just like we're a big book club, man. All right, we're just a big old book club. Don't be offended. You ain't got nothing to worry about. We're just a big book club. So, I love y'all, man. It just feels good to come to y'all because sometimes, you might feel a little lost, man. Sometimes you could pop off for 5 straight years and you always got to come home. You always got to come to a checkpoint within yourself. Say, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing this for? You know what I mean? And, why am I doing it? How am I doing it? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're doing it for your purpose, right? Like you're doing it for HaWah within yourself to be expressed. Everything is energy. You could be a gardener, and that's your purpose. That's HaWah being expressed in your form. What's my form? You know what I mean? I never liked reading until I realized I am the book. When HaWah gave us the dragonfly eye, the eye that they say is the one with the deadly glance, when the etymology of dragon is the one with the deadly glance. So who's it deadly to? All right, then you get back to the who, what, when, where, why. Who is my glance deadly to? If the dragon etymology is to see clearly, and it's the one with the deadly glance, that means by default and common sense that seeing clearly is deadly to somebody. And clearly, the invader will be threatened by you seeing clearly, by you knowing who you are, by you knowing who your power is. So I'm gonna jump right in here, but just watch how they play with our power. But that's when you realize the one they playing with, this power they trying to play with, ain't our power. Your power is HaWah. Our power is existence. The one they playing with ain't HaWah, so you can't get fooled and trapped up on these other names and these swervings of names. And yeah, it's about unity, you know what I'm saying, and worshiping the same, source, you know what I mean. At the same time, how do we do it? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you might feel a little disunified, searching for the truth. You might go against the grain and they're like, don't break up our unity, go with the grain. You're like, look, man, if they're calling the creator Yah and Yahweh in these churches and these Jehovah Witness this, then you got the reggae flow, they say Jah with the J, and there ain't no J in existence into the 16th, 17th century. And they're talking about Jesus with the J, and you take the J off, it's just Isus, and you show them the Celtic god Isus cutting down the trees, just like Christmas, just like Christmas. And you say, oh, they repurposed Zeus under Isus, or as Spanish would say, Jesus. They worship Zeus, they worship Jupiter. This is who they're trying to connect to when they say, oh, the indigenous god and the Hindu god Shiva. All this Shiva talk and all this connects with the same Zeusology, the same Jupiter talk, the same Thoth, Trigonomegestes, Egypt, Atlantis talk. We were never united under some black force. It was always Atlantis versus the Muons, versus Mu back in the day. Some war took place, lands were sunken. Then you got Egypt and the Hebrews, and you got the true power, versus these idols. You know what I'm saying? We keep falling for their idols, but we also got to get out of the swerving of what they're on. Yeah, like we're a big book club, and sometimes you might feel a little lost. Sometimes like you might have to get real, man, in different things in life, and you're like, all this drop I've dropped, and all this stuff. Like, where do I pick up from here? You know what I'm saying? We just jump back into flat earth, flat drop 101. I'm sure we could pick up anywhere. I like to pick up at the right place at the right time, man. And sometimes all it takes is just picking up a book, man. So we're a big book club. I just decided to read this book cover to cover from Khyber past the Gran Quivira. We're going to talk Quivira, Babaquivari. Again, they're just talking Arizona, New Mexico, Grand Canyon. This author wants to try to connect India to America without connecting that India superior is America. And the indigenous Hebrews are the same indigenous so-called Indians, Native American, all that stuff. So Cherokee, Chickamauga, all that, right? Are the indigenous Hebrews, are the Heber, Kheeber, Quivira is the Heber. Ancient maps of America again. Antioch. Ain't no North America, man. You in Antioch. You in Quivira. You see Quivira right here, right? Pause it. Right. I mean, what would that be today? You know, Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it's right here in our face. When we talk Quivira, Kheevira, you know what I'm saying? Right here at the top, you're still talking about, you know, so-called North America. So if North America is a myth, then who are you? And why are they calling you black and colored and yada, yada, yada? And why is the copper the Khyber? The Khyber is the copper, is the cyber. So let's pop off, you know, because I want to show you how they playing with us right in our face. All right, now just going back a little bit, you know, pause it, read it, right? See it, you see it? Pause all this and read it. We're just going back a little bit, then we're going to pick up where we left off last time. I didn't get all this, but it says the Hindus say that everyone in the world once worshipped their god Shiva. Now, they're not talking about our Hebrew world. They're talking about Europe and Africa, and, you know, all that stuff, Egypt. And like, they're talking about their God. They're not talking about your power. They're talking about their manifest destiny. They're talking about their JC. You know what I mean? They're talking about the one when they just say God, right? That's not the Hebrew power. That's not the one that came off these boats, you know, even though we know our history that we got out of code and started rocking with their idols. And that's why we're talking about this. Because it says that their god Shiva, known to us as Yah, right? And we don't just take one author's, you know what I'm saying, perspective. We've been breaking this down, like we said, for over 10 years. That their Yah is dismissal or defiance to our power, our breath, our security, the fifth and sixth letter of the Hebrew, which is Wah, the breath and security. So they say Yah and Yahweh, or Yahweh, right? Remember, very important, man, with phonetics, man, with the study of languages, philology. They they switch letters around. Back to the Horace Butler one letter rule. They turn the W's to V's, or sometimes they'll turn that W to Y. The W is the Wah. The Wah is the sixth letter of the Hebrew. Security. We're talking foundation. So we're talking about security. That's the first thing you need to understand when you talk about the Creator. You rock with the Creator, you in code, you got security, man. Right? Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 15 is all about having security because you're hearkening, you're listening, you're obedient, you know what I mean, to the code. Rule number 1, don't put no power before the Creator. I mean, it's real simple. It bypasses all rewrites and remixes, you know, to all these religions, and you got to go through the Son and get to the Father. You got to go through this and get to that. Go to your source. Nobody can hijack you, right? I can't hijack you if I'm telling you to go back home. I can't hijack you if I'm telling you to 4-3-2 it up, spiral yourself back to unity with HaWah first, right? Then we could talk King David, because you are a righteous flock that deserves a righteous shepherd. You don't need no shepherd if you're out of code. You don't need King David, President John, nothing if you're not even a flock. You're out of order if you're looking for King David, President John, like it says to do in Hosea chapter 3, like it says to do in Jeremiah 30, like it says you got one shepherd forever in Ezekiel 34 and Ezekiel 37, like the covenant is always with David in Psalms 89. How many more witnesses do you need to understand that you go to the Creator first? Then you can activate your shepherd. You get to the next level. You don't go through the Son to get to the Father. You don't go through something else to go home. That's reverse, reverse. When they say Yahweh, reverse, reverse, reverse Yahweh, right? W-E-H. And then you got H-E-W, right? Hey, or ha, wah. Like the reverse of Yahweh is the hey, wah, or ha, wah. When they talk about Yahweh, when they put the V on it, that's Yahweh. And Yahweh itself, man, is what they call it in etymology, a hijack, hijack hypothetical of the real HaWah, which first they go to Hey, and then they have to keep going because again they added that Y to put the Yah on it. They put the Yah on it, then they're back to the exclamation of defiance, man. And if the hijack's calling it Yah and Yahweh, do you think they can play with the Creator's name, man? I mean, for real, for real. Do you think they can play with the Creator's name? You got Eve. Eve is Chawah. Chawah. C-H-U-A-H or Chawah, because it's based on breath. It's based on existence. Eve is the mother of existence, right? But Eve don't predate existence itself. She's named after existence, man. So you got Yahwehs and Jehovah, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, but there ain't no J. And you take the J off, you got the Hova, and they turn the W's to V's to get the Va. So this is how I know to reverse engineer back to the original Hebrew. I know you're not going home from the Hebrew to this Hindu flow if you got all these V's and you know, all these replacement letters. You know what I mean? They take the Shiva, turn it into Shiva, and turn it into a goddess of destruction and all this destruction talk. They're reversing, they're reverse engineering from the original. You gotta reverse from what they're doing, reverse that shit. Reverse the curse, break the spell, and come back home. So I just want to show you how they playing with these words. Therefore, Jehovah was just a man because Shiva was a man. This is what they're saying. Jehovah was a man. so, so they did all that to say, well, the creator is just a man, you see, because it's based on the god Shiva. And Shiva's just a man. You see this shit? But when you understand HaWah is breath and security, you can't put that in as a source, one man or individual. You're talking about energy, frequency, and vibration. Back to Deuteronomy 28, you observe your energy, frequency, and vibration, you get life. Mama says in Proverbs chapter 8, you seek wisdom, right? You seek life, you get life. You know what I'm saying? He's going to favor you if you seeking me. Power is mine. Understanding is mine. No her, no understanding. It's all feminine, right? So that's your breath. That's your inhale. It's feminine. Your exhale is masculine. Wow. So that fifth letter is the hey in Hebrew, but it comes after the door, the dal or dalet, because you have to walk through the door to get the breath. Big Mama's waiting at the entrance of the gates in Proverbs chapter 8. She's waiting for you to walk through that door every single day. Every thought you have, you're walking through a door. You can have a good thought, you can have a bad thought. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep guard of your gates. You got to protect your gates. You're having a bad thought, you got to kick it out your gates because you got to walk through that door because you can manifest your thoughts if you don't close certain doors, right? Or you keep certain doors open that shouldn't be open. But you walk through the right doors with Big Mama, she's there to give you the breath and the revelation. And with that comes your security. That's the sixth letter. So the first letter, the Aleph, is a strong power. Second letter, the Ba'at, is a house, right? So your house, the strong power enters your house. The third letter is the Gam, which means you're moving, walking, or tribing up. Strong power enters your house, you start to tribe up. Fourth letter, you enter the door, the Dal, where they get the word door from. The letter D is the Dal, is the entrance. So strong power enters your house, you start to move, walk through an entrance, a vortex, a portal. Fifth letter is the breath. You need to do the work, to do the exodus, to get to the wilderness, to get the manna, man, to get the breath. And then what? You get the security. You're secure, you get to the promised land. The seventh letter is the Zon or Zion. Now you're in the promised land. Now you can eat. Zon is food, nourishment. Now you got the food, the nourishment. Don't play with the Creator's name, right? That's like putting the name in vanity. That's against our code. No vanity on HaWah's name means no vanity on your breath and your security. Now it makes sense? It's not just a name, it's your breath. You're out of code, that's vanity. Now you got you want vain breath or you want real breath? You want vain security? You want to have a party with some whack ass security outside? Like you want to go to sleep at night with no security? HaWah is our security, man, first and foremost. So I'm just showing you how they play with it. Then it says all the Amerindians from our southwestern United States down to South America worship standing stones. Where's he getting this from? Look, we're here to do criticisms and some research, man. Copyright 107, fair use. We're using this to do some teaching, some commentary, and some critique, man. We're going to critique everything we do because we don't take nobody's word for it. We got to do the recon. We got to do the research. So we had to take a step back to take a step forward to catch up to where we're at. But who's telling you that we worship and standing? Who are you talking to? Which tribe are you talking about that's worshiping these stones? But look what it says. They worship standing stones similar to or just like the Yah stone of Israel and India. All right, check it out. Pause it. Read it. The Yah stone. You think they could play with the Creator's name like this? The Yah stone. You think this hijack that's writing this joint got the name of the Creator in his heart and is calling this HaWah stones? Nah, he's calling it Yah stones. He's saying their Yah is the same as this Shiva situation, and all this goes back to their hijacked pantheon of Atlantis, man. I'm trying to tell you. That's why Atlantis got sunk to the bottom. That's why Egypt got destroyed. Think the Creator's rocking with that, or is that an anti-power trying to hijack the flow? The Yah stones. Then it says the Hopi legends clearly state that they come from Kheever. Remember, cities of gold. Tao. We're gonna get back on cartoons. We're gonna watch it on Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon cons. Hit the link to get our Patreon. We're about to be out of here enjoying cartoons, and we're also gonna do a separate book reading. We're gonna choose another book and just be dissecting it over there. So you're gonna have to get in our Patreon, and that helps us build our land. It helps our family get settled. It helps so much. So please click the link. Make sure you're in there for the Patreon. I appreciate y'all for real. Yeah, man. So it says they come from Kheever, Khiva, Uzbekistan. All right. This picture, all right, shows which photographer Emery Ogan gave me permission to use this in the book. All right, so I'm just saying the Kiva is like you take the K off, is the Hiva, or remember the V's used to be W's, right? So the Hiwa or Hawa, right? It's just showing you how they were breaking down away from the name to try to put a swerving on it. And now you got the Kiva people. And Tao said in the cities of gold, my land is the land of Kiva or Hiva. Right, Hiva is HaWah. Right, all right, so let's get it, man. Back to where we left off. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, almost there. Okay, we good, we there. So we're just gonna pick it up right here, pause it, get ahead of me a little bit. Read it, man. I'm gonna do a few minutes of this. You know what I mean? Almost at my 20-minute cutoff. Told you I'm doing quick drops. I'm on the grindstone right now. Daddy daycare going, everything's happening. So I got a few, but I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying, neglect my posts. I wanna come in here and check in with my cons daily if I can, somehow, some way, whether it's short, super short, and then we're gonna get back to the long form, hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour drops. I got y'all as we getting settled in transition, man. Salute to the cons. Woo, let's go. It says the companions of the Phoenicians in commerce and war were the priest warriors Yahudiya or Judai or Judah. So this author's connecting the Indian flow with the Hebrew flow. We're just reverse engineering their reverse engineer to try to bring the origin of the American flow way over there to India instead of understanding that they are in India superior when they're talking about it. And that's why it's all connected right here, that this is the homeland. And the Judy is the Jedi. And the Jedi had lightsabers with the Khyber crystals, and we're just talking the Khyber. So they knew what they was doing when they was writing Star Wars. Yeah, you are the stars, and we were at war. We did have our tribal war. You had your Sith, right? You had your Jedi. You got all this. So so Judah, or the people known today as Jews. I was just talking about the people known today as so-called, or we talking about the original indigenous Americans with the dragonfly perspective. Can't nobody break this down like Drop Nation, because we earned our perspective. We empty our cup. We on an investigation. When we say we on an investigation, they got to get out of our way and let us investigate, or they reveal themselves as a hijack. Because only a hijack's going to try to stop you from investigating. The person that says stop asking questions, they don't want you to investigate. Us, me, man, throw the book away. You know what I'm saying? Start from scratch. You're still going to find the creator. You're still going to find the connection to the source code. Every computer simulation, whatever you want to talk about, is still going to bring you to a source code. A code is not religion. A code is a code. HaWah gives us codes to observe. We choose observation like quantum physics, back to Deuteronomy 28. You observe the code, you get the blessings. You don't observe, you get the curses. A particle in quantum knows when it's being observed, That's what the double slit experiment's all about, quantum physics. So the observer changes the behavior of the particle, man. If you're the observer of the code, you change your reality. That's what HaWah's breaking down on a quantum level. We can observe the code to change our reality. You don't observe, and then it's all happening, right? Instead of the particle hitting one particular point, the whole wave is happening, which could be good, bad, ugly, pretty. It could be all these things. You can have rich Nagas, you could have extreme poverty, you could have famine, chaos, you could have some good times. It's all happening, but you don't want it to be all happening. You want paradise. So while it's promising us paradise when we observe, blessings when you come out, blessings when you go in, abundant blessings. HaWah said, you ever been abundantly blessed? Have you ever had the abundance of my blessings? Have you ever been overabundant? Leave a comment. Let me know the last time you felt overabundance from HaWah. You don't even know what I'm talking about. It's like me talking about your kingdom, and it's been so long in your head that you ain't had no king or queen or kingdom or your gold and your real things. You got paper, plastic. Ain't you tired of spending monies? You think monies last forever? You think any of these fake kingdoms last forever, So I want my reality. I don't want to observe through their lens, their so-called all-seeing eye. It's their lens, their hijacked perspective. I want HaWah's eye. I want HaWah's lens. I want to see clearly, like a dragon. And that's why they call you the one with the deadly glance. Because when you see clearly, you see through HaWah's eyes, you are deadly to the hijack. You are deadly to the illusion. You are deadly to the simulation. Let's go for the dismount. I'm just going to get this paragraph, man. We're going to go paragraph to paragraph, page to page. We're going to enjoy. We're going to get cover to cover. And you know what I mean? We're going to enjoy the journey. We ain't going to race through nothing else. We've earned our time to pop off. So these two castes descended from the mining, manufacturing, and trading caste nation called Kheever, or Hebrew, Khyber, Kheeber, or Khyber, which is the biblical Kheeber. Where we at? Right here. And the Kheeber is the Hebrew. The Kheeber is the Eber, which is again why they have on your maps Anion and the Quivira River. This is why America has Kheevira with the Q. Now you look up Quivira, Q, they say Vivira, or some will spell it with the Q, how they do it over here. Mm-mm. Oh, I guess right here, the QU, all right, the QU or the QV, and you find out how many maps you see with America and the Quivira, and then research the Quivira Kingdom, and they're going to connect that to a city of gold. Then you look up, oh, the 7 cities of gold, and its connection with the Andes and the mountains and all this stuff over here. You know, the Machu Picchu flow, connect Jerusalem, you know what I mean, and Peru. California Gold Rush, Grand Canyon, you know what I mean? You'll start to get there. So these Khybers are the biblical Kheeber. The principal focus of this book, over the centuries, the four basic Hindu castes, Varna, Brahmin, the Kshatriya or Hatya, sounds like Haiti, man, or Kati, right? Sounds like Haiti, huh? Leaders and warriors, the Vaishya, merchants, artisans, farmers, and Sundra. Those who perform society's lowest occupations are the Sundra. Interesting. Further divided into numerous jatis, Jatis, subcastes, causing India to become fragmented almost beyond hope. If even the Indians themselves don't fully understand the monster sprawled, or excuse me, the monster spawned from the beginnings of their caste system, I hope my readers will forgive me for being bewildered by this labyrinth of human divisions as well. So he's doing us a favor. Okay, got you. And since the Hindus are the fathers of every human civilization, but these Hindus are the same as the Hebrews. So what you're really saying is that these Hebrews are the father of every civilization on earth. Whether you're talking about the title of the tribes of Israel leaving Egypt, or we're talking about the bloodline, you know what I'm saying? The priesthood, the Khans that predate some word called Israel or tribes of Israel. They predate Egypt. We go back to Atlantis with that. We go back to Mu, Muan, right? The kingdom of Mu. Then you can get our forefathers and ancestors. Instead of going to the Atlantic, you got to go to the Pacific. And this land of Hiva or HaWah that Tao say he from in the cities of gold. You don't just connect it to a title and say, oh, you Israelites are a new nation because you came out of Egypt and that's when the Israelites were born. We're talking bloodlines, man. We're not talking titles, man. Ain't no Israelite called themselves Israelite. What are you talking about, man? So we get the skinny, man, without the fat. You know, keep the fat, we're going to get the skinny. We're going to get a laser point dragonfly perspective. We're going to burn your ass down with this sharp, with this sharp LEAs are we firing for the dismount. All right. All right. So they call the Hindus or the Hindu or India Superior, the ancestors of the fathers of every human civilization of Earth. The rest of us have inherited both the good and bad aspects of this Frankensteinian caste system. The good news is that to a certain degree, a pecking order helps keep us all from cannibalizing one another. You mean y'all cannibalizing us? Because you know that's not in our formula to be eating each other. I don't know what. Don't link us in with the hijack, man. The downside is that it is the cause of many ways unhappiness, injustices of all types. So this author's trying to use the Hindu caste system as the cause of all their injustices. What they do in that India ain't what we talking about here. But you're going to link India with India Superior. You know how many Indias there are? We got the West Indies, the East Indies. It's just a vague term for dark copper colored people wherever we are. Ethiopians, same thing like we talked about last time. Don't link us with them. But I know that you can't help it, Gene, because you know you can only see India as this continent of what it is today. Just like when you mention Jews, you can only see that as who's being called that today, and Judah, and the link with the so-called African American copper colored naga found here. you don't see that. You don't see the indigenous picture because you don't see the indigenous truth, because you don't see this as India superior. You don't see David. You don't see Preston. You don't see none of that being right here. I get it. You don't see the Grand Khan, even though Columbus was looking for the Grand Khan of Cathay. Ah, man. All humans must work themselves free of the mental fragmentation. You work yourself free, man. All right, next time we'll pick up right here where it says the Hindus who conquered the world were the Kshatriya, Kau, Deva. Remember, Deva, D-E-V-A, is Deva, is Dawi or Dawa. David has a female form and a male form in terms of the title. The males are the Dawus or Dawas, right? The females are the Dawida, what they call Davida, which became Diva. So our high Amazon queens, our priest queens are Dawuda or Dawida by title, which just means beloved, right? And the Davids, right, or Dawus are the male version of that title. So as long as you were beloved in the priesthood and, you know what I'm saying, you carry that bloodline, that heritage, you are Dawuda or you Dawu. You understand? It's not just one man carrying that title, just like Prester John. It's not just one man. It's whoever is carrying that function is the Prester. Whoever the Khan is the priest, Khan. And it's not difficult to see when you have eyes to see. You know, you look around for another one carrying the frequency, the way that you got it, when you got it, and how you got it. And you will find you will find your Khan, you will find your energy frequency, you know what I'm saying, that was put here for you to get back in code. Ain't no Khan gonna get you out of code. That don't mean David gotta be perfect, Presta gotta be perfect, or you gotta be perfect. No one's a perfect code keeper, but ain't no Khan gonna bring you outside of going direct home to putting no power before your power. Ain't no Khan gonna ever do that. The Khan's always gonna bring you to the water, man. And at the end of the day, you gotta walk through that door and bring yourself to the water. So these diva branch of people we now call Phoenicians and Jews, whose collective name were the Hebrew. So you pause it, read it, we'll pick it up here next time, cuz. We had to go a little back to get back forward, and we'll keep going forward. I appreciate y'all for surfing the wave with me, allowing me to surf the wave with you and drop these drops right on your head bone. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's keep the water flowing, keep the fire burning, man. And I mean that, man. Keep that fire burning no matter who's trying to put your fire out. You know what I'm saying? You be the generator. You know what I'm saying, be the fire starter within yourself. You know what I mean? You be that water within yourself. You breathe. You get that breath and security within yourself, man. And then, you know, and then you're ready for the shepherd. And then you're ready for who is Prester John. Maybe that's you, man. All praise HaWah, Halal HaWah, Shabbat up. Early Shabbat Shalom to my cons, man. And I love y'all. And we here now, you know what I'm saying? We in Utah, and we popping off the water for your patience, your energy, and all your AHA, man. And if you want to keep supporting our flow out here, my family's flow, our tribe's flow, please hit those links below. Get in our Patreon. The water for all the cons on the Cash App, PayPal, for real. It just helps us so much, man, just to do that next thing and that next step. So we appreciate your support all day, all night, man. All the way up to you. Halal HaWah.